everybody, and welcome to another video. Hopefully you can all hear us. I'm going to pass you over to Sarah because we've got quite a lot of messages already in the message section.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Nice to have you with us on a Saturday. I can see that, like Tony said, there's quite a lot of messages, so I'm just going to start reading through them as we're driving out of...
Sorry, before we start this, we haven't even got out of the campsite before we get a numpty. Here's the first numpty of the day. You can see that this road is only for one car, but you've got these little gaps to get into which are parking spaces for the caravans either side. A car coming towards us can see me there because we can see it. Decides to not do either, just stop there. Look at that space to my left hand side that she could have waited there, so I could have just driven in there, but no, she doesn't do anything other than just sit still. Yeah, first numpty of the day.
So just so you know, also, we're not actually driving now. This is a journey that we did a little while ago, but we're having a little chat with you. The chat's live, as you'll see, because we'll be reading out the messages.
Yeah, the date and time down there on the left, on the right hand corner is correct. The 9th of June and 10:15-ish. That is correct, the time we actually did it.
Okay, so Alan Howard said ready and waiting, guys. Hello, Alan. And it's 4 PM and I'm watching salvage rebuilds on YouTube, but we'll be there at 5 PM, can't wait. Simon Mitchener, also waiting but watching, listening to Drakenfeel, I think that says. Michelle Simpson said hi to Alan and Simon. And then hi Tony and Sarah, I'm looking forward to our live chat today.
Hello Michelle.
Hi Michelle, we've been looking forward to it too. Simon said hi to Michelle, and Iceby aka P77I said hello everyone, good afternoon, evening. I'm watching M4 BMW's race on CarWow. Michelle said I'm watching the new Wednesday series on Netflix. I saw that advertised earlier, Michelle. And Iceby aka P77I said nice. Simon said hi to Iceby aka P77 Ice, and Alan said hi to Michelle. Oops, hold on a moment, just lost where I am. Michelle said, my first question to Tony is, do you prefer to drive a manual or an automatic car?
Automatic, really. It's just so easy. You just don't have to worry about anything. It's so easy. But when you drive a manual car, you tend to forget that you're changing gears anyway. You just do it automatically. It's muscle memory. You just do it automatically. But yeah, automatic nowadays, they're really good nowadays. Years ago, you used to have to put your foot down for it to get into gear properly, but now they're just so good. Yeah, automatics all day long.
And Alan said, well, it's the month I hate most now. Oh, that's a shame. G6ZNW said, good evening all. And Simon Mitchener said, hello, Tony and Sarah.
Hello,
hi,
Simon.
Transport Level 1 said, just in time. And Simon said, yes, we can hear that annoying background noise again. Transport Level 1 said, Selsey Caravan Park. That's right, it's used to be called Bun Leisure, it's now called Seal Bay Resort, and we're just going by the fun fair on the right and coming up to the windmill, which is a real Selsey landmark. Auntie Trev said, evening all. Evening, Auntie Trev. And Alan Howard said, because it's autumn and my birthday's the 23rd, I'll be getting nothing, not even a card. Oh, I can't believe that, Alan, surely. Will you get a happy birthday to the 23rd from us anyway? Jerry Roberts said, well, it's a woman driver. And Alan said, true, Jerry. Simon Mitchner said, I know a lot of very good women drivers, Jerry Roberts. They drive me up the wall very well.
Now.
And Sam 2025 said, hello.
Hello.
And Simon Mitchner said, just a silly point, if the date for the video was in US format, it'd be correct for today. So it would.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good spot there. Good spot there, Simon.
That was done on purpose, actually. We could have fooled you all, couldn't we? Now, in the last video, we were slightly criticised for not showing you the sea, going down to the coast and not properly showing you the sea. We will be showing you the sea this time. We're going to go off route just to show you the sea, just so you know.
Okay, and where we're going along now, it's sort of the one road in and one road out to the holiday camp if you're going into West Sands. On the far right is where the sea is, and you can see all the shrubs and bushes all sort of veer to the left. That's, I think, because the coastal wind, it's very windy in Selsey, just sort of blows everything that way. Alan Gates has sent 5 lovely red hearts. And the outliner said, lovely windmill just then. It is lovely, the outliner, and in quite often it's cut all the starlings settle on it, which is really sweet to see. Alan Howard said, no, honestly, I'll be getting nothing. Thank you, Tony and Sarah, for the early greetings. Much appreciated. Oh, that's a shame, Alan. And you're welcome, though, of course.
Over to the right is where Patrick Moore's house was, just over to the right there.
That's West Street in Selsey. And let's have a little look. Simon said, Alan, give me your address, your bank account details, date of birth, and I'll make sure you get a present. Oh.
So if we were going home, we'll be turning left. But we're not going home just yet. We're going to take you to the sea. So we're going to go right to the seafront. Because Sarah wanted a little walk on the beach before we went home. So this isn't the way home yet.
And we're going along. Straight ahead of us is it's called the Selsey Bill. I think it's the most southern part of the UK. Selsey Bill's featured in a few songs as well. I'm pretty sure Madness was one of them.
Yep.
Alan's just asking, will we be going through Romney Marshes? No, I don't think we are. So Romney Marsh, we kind of went that way, I think, when we went from Folkestone to Hastings. New Romney we went through. Mm-hmm. So this journey isn't going to be through Romney, not that way. We're sort of more West Sussex than East Sussex.
We do go a different way today than what we normally would. We go a little bit further down just for a little bit of a different route, to be honest, a little bit more scenery and to relieve the boredom of doing the same routes all the time. We go through Arundel a little bit and back out the other side of it, and some lovely scenery, and we do go to the rear camera through that bit because the scenery is lost on the front camera because of the angles and that.
We're at the Selsey Bill now. That was the Selsey Bill just behind us. You'll see the camera jump in a minute because we do get out the car and have a little walk, and that van that was in front of us has gone by the time we get back. So you'll see the camera jump, and then we got a really good view of the sea. And I do back up as close as I can. It's starting to brighten up a little bit now, and if it wasn't so misty, you would be able to see the Isle of Wight over to the right hand side, but it's a little bit misty, so you can't see that far. Nice bright sunny day though, as you can see. We've had loads of them this summer. We've been so lucky. Alan's put a laugh out loud to Simon, but Alan, you should send Tony your address. We'll send you a card. might send you a little birthday treat from the London Dashcam, I think, for being one of the number one people that we chat to. So yeah, after the live chat, ping Tony a message with your address if you want to. Don't have to. Alan Gates said, I'm not much of a texter, looking forward to this return via the sea. Thanks for joining, Alan. And Michelle asked, did you dip your toe in the sea? We didn't actually, did we?
Not on this day, yeah.
No, normally we wouldn't on the way home, just because you think, Tony's foot might slip off the pedal. There's the number 51 bus that we've just gone by. That's the one bus in and the one bus out to Selsey as well. Ice B, aka P77I, said hi to Simon Mitchener. And Alan Howard said, madness driving in my car. Had Selsey Bill in the lyrics. That's the one, Alan.
Did indeed.
Jerry Roberts said the most southerly point in the UK is the Lizard in Cornwall. I think that might be the most westerly point, or it might be the most southern peninsula. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Ice B, aka P77I, said, hi everyone, just made it back in time, just.
Hello.
And Alan's just said, Tony's lost again. Laugh out loud.
I make a living out of being lost.
And we've got 22 people that are joining us on this Saturday afternoon, so thanks all for joining. Just going through the high street in Selsey now, full of lots of little independent stores, which is always lovely. Good to support local when you can. We've actually seen traffic wardens before in this tiny little parade of...
very, very rare. It should be a bit more often. You'll see this guy in front of me in a minute. He just... God knows what he's doing. Yeah, up on the pavement, on double yellow lines, across driveways, everything else. Who knows? It was a Burke and a Merc, wasn't it? And then, in a little while you'll see a motorbike pull out. Regulars of the channel would have seen the clip before, but surely this guy cannot ride a bike like this. You'll see him in a little while as we go close to another roundabout up here. Yeah, go on.
Where are we? The outliner said Jerry is correct. I'll stand corrected. Simon Mitchener said, don't forget to hit that like button. And Ice B, aka P77 Ice, also said don't forget to drop a like. Thank you for that. Alan Howard said, Tony, there's an idea for a live drive from Land's End to John O'Groats.
Here we go with the bike. Look at that pole sticking out the back there, that tube. I mean, surely that can't be right, can it?
Is it a drain pipe?
It's something like that, yeah. I mean, I know he's probably got to get it home or something somehow, but at least put a rag over the back of it or something.
A bit like jousting in reverse, isn't it?
Sorry, I interrupted.
That's all right. Michelle Simpson said, sometimes getting lost is part of the fun of driving.
Not if you've got a customer on board, it isn't.
And Ice B, aka P77 Ice, is also laughing. Simon Mitchener said, great minds, to Ice B, aka P77 Ice, who replied and said, in it just. So we're driving along that, I can't remember the name of that road. It might be called the Chichester Road, I think. On the way out to Selsey, and on the left coming up is the Selsey Wave sculpture that you see as you come in and out. We've just whizzed by that, and the controversial, not so controversial anymore, but when it was built, the controversial Asda on the right. And just going through a country lane with well, it's not a country lane really, is it? We're just going along that road where either side are the fields that grow fresh salad. And just to the right there was a little turn off to a place called Church Norton, which is tiny, and no one had heard of it. It was always deserted until as the restrictions came up from COVID, and I think it was something like one of the top 5 secret destinations to visit in the UK, and suddenly everyone just went there. It was, that wasn't so good.
It's very nice though.
It was very nice, but it was a little churchyard and the locals couldn't park there, and there was lots of litter left.
And it's also a really nice place to go down to a really deserted part of the beach as well. But yeah, that started to get a little bit busier.
Michelle Simpson said, still think going to Jeremy Clarkson's pub for lunch is a good idea, and give him a review on the channel.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Whereabouts is that?
Oh, for goodness sake, Squiddly Diddly Farm, isn't it? It's where's his place?
You'll have to have a little Google.
Someone's going to say it before I remember where it is.
The outliner said, Alan, I'd love to see that one.
It's very hard to do them sort of. It's very hard to do them sort of reviews though when we don't show our faces. You know, you can't see us, whacking a bit of beef down out, or Sarah's a vegetarian, but you can't see me doing a Yorkshire pudding test without showing me old boat race. It's a bit difficult for them sort of things. I've noticed that with the bikes. Trying to show you what I look like on a bike and not show my face. It's sort of a bit odd, a bit weird.
Where are we? Simon said, not sure why, but I have the thought that if something extends 2 foot beyond your vehicle, you need to put a red flag on it, but that could just be me. I know sometimes builders
put their high-vis jackets on them or something like that. If they haven't got anything, they put a high-vis jacket over the top of it, but you don't normally see them on motorbikes though.
Alan Howard's asking, have you ever done that, Tony? Went out in your car and thought, let's go to a road and see where it ends up?
Yeah, lots of times. Lots of times when I haven't got customers on, I always sort of like go to a place and I wonder what's down there, or and I just take that route and just see where it is, where it ends up. Sometimes you actually find a really nice shortcut that way that your sat-navs won't ever take you down. Sometimes, most of the time, it's a dead end, or you're not allowed to go down there because of restrictions in London, that is anyway. But yeah, I do that quite often, especially when I was a delivery driver, because I was always looking for better routes and stuff like that. You'd always test something out, because the map don't always tell you everything. Even an A to Z, it doesn't tell you everything sometimes.
And Michelle said, Tony, you could do a mystery tour live chat. The outliner said Jeremy Clarkson's pub, The Farmer's Dog, is located at Astlbarrow in Burford, Oxfordshire.
Right, okay, so not a million miles away.
And Alan Howard said, good idea, Michelle. And Michelle said, thanks. Alan Howard said, in 2 days, it's 3 years since we lost 2 famous people. Who were they? Well, one of them would be the Queen. I can't think who the other famous person was that died on the same day. Although, actually, now you've said that, I remember we had a discussion saying, oh wow, that person died as well, but no one will remember it because of the Queen. Who was that?
That's a similar one to, isn't it, Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett Majors?
Majors, yeah.
She died on the same day as Michael Jackson and got no one sort of heard about it because Michael Jackson was massive.
Oh, it's got me
Similar
thinking
sort of
now,
thing.
and I don't want to Google it, but I do remember, thinking it on that day. Big Davey said Diddley Squat Farm is up past Oxford from London. And Auntie Trev said Diddley Squat Farm is near Chipping Norton in Oxfordshire. I think my sister-in-law lives there. So how long would it take to get to Oxford from here, roughly?
From home, probably maybe a couple of hours.
That's not bad then. That could be worth it, couldn't it, one day? Alan said, yeah, Sarah, the Queen, and the other was in the programme with the Chicken Man theme. I'm not sure what that is.
No,
you got me stumped there. I'm not sure what that is. Simon said many years ago on holiday in Buckfastleigh, went out on the motorbike to check where Buckfast Abbey was so we could go and visit it later. Ended up being persuaded by my pillion passenger to go on a rainbow chase that ended up going north to Southdown through Dartmoor, then back to Buxley Fast via Plymouth. That sounds like a serious old trip there, Simon. Alan Howard said she played the headmistress in Grange Hill. Oh, okay.
Right, yeah.
But you know, that wasn't who I was thinking of.
No. Max something, her name, wasn't it, in it? Can't remember. I should know that because Grange Hill was filmed near where I used to live. Well, some of it was. They moved that around so much. The schools were different every time that you saw it. It was sort of like a different setting. But it was filmed in Hammersmith for a little while. They used the college down Graham Road / Star Road for it.
And one of the people that was one of the actors in Grange Hill was in Wallington, a guy that played Zammo. He's got a locksmith in Wallington in Surrey, but he was kind of the generation, the school few years after when we were really into it. We were into it when it first started, when it was Tucker and Tricia Jenkins.
Yeah.
And
out of the three, Benny and Alan and that, there's only Tucker that's still alive. The other two have gone.
That's a bit scary.
His two mates, Benny and the big guy, Alan.
Yeah.
They're both dead.
So they
died young. But especially Benny, he died really young.
Alan said Grange Hill, Ice B, aka P77 I said Grange Hill was classed Mrs. McCluskey.
That's the one.
That's it.
Yeah.
And Alan just said it was Gwyneth Powell, Mrs. McCluskey.
Mm-hmm.
Simon Mitchener said it was. Just glad I stopped off to refuel the bike, Sarah, but what a great ride, even with the drizzle and the wet roads. Michelle said she played Greg Davis' mum in Man Down, but don't know her name. Don't think we've seen Man Down.
No. Don't ring any bells.
Ice B said the best years for Grange Hill for me was the Ziggy, Greavesy, Imelda Davis years, series 9 to 12.
A little bit later then.
I'm pretty sure it actually started when I started secondary school. So it was very topical at the time.
Yeah. And I still had about 6 years to go before I was in secondary school compared to you.
Not quite. But we didn't go to mixed schools, did we? I went to an all-girls school, and I think you went to an all-boys school.
All-boys school, yeah.
Yeah.
Secondary school was anyway, yeah.
Michelle Simpson said Zorro still the saddest scene in Grange Hill. Don't know if I remember that. The outliner said, how's everyone's weekend going? Not too bad.
Okay.
Nice to be spending it chatting with you guys, actually.
Yeah, I was out at work this morning and then back here to do this.
And I've just finished my work and literally finished that and then came to have a little chat.
And I got a new e-bike, by the way. I know that'll please some of you. Some of you don't like it, but yeah, I got a new e-bike and I've already been out on it, and I took it right into central London, and you guys know how much I really dislike going into central London in the car, but I went there on the bike. Yeah, I got some quite good footage, so look out for that review. And there will also be a lot of clips where people do a lot of things wrong in this one, mainly bikes, because I'm in bike lanes and these people, they just don't seem to see red lights. Really odd. But yeah, there's another bike review coming shortly.
How many miles did you do yesterday?
I did 30 miles, which is my longest bike ride for well over 20 years. And most of it in pedal assist 1. I had it on really low because remember the whole idea of me having these bikes is to try and get fit and lose a bit more weight and not let the bike do all the work. And this bike is superb again. It's another Engui one, and it's right up there with the Green Goddess. I've got to say, it's right up there.
Are you going to tell them what happened when you got home?
Oh, I got home and I was a bit sweaty and everything else, and I took all my gear off and I had a drink, and I went to go up the stairs and my legs would not work. It was like I needed pedal assist to get up the stairs. So it took me ages to get up the stairs, where I've been on the bike for like about 4 hours. I've been on the bike for, and I struggled to get up the stairs really, really badly. You would have pissed yourself laughing if you could have seen me.
You're glad to be on banisters then?
Yeah, just a bit.
Let's have a little look. Where are we? Alan said, I hated the comprehensive I was at, was glad to leave in 1984. I wasn't a big fan of school either, and I was out there as soon as I could. 1982 I left. Alan said, I like them all. This is going back to Grange Hill, but yeah, Ziggy years were good. The outliner said, Sarah, what do you do for a job? So I do office work during the week, and I also do quite a lot of painting outside, and this time of year is quite busy for me. So I'm not painting walls, not a painter and decorator. Kind of wish sometimes that I was, because I think I think that would be a nice way to earn a living. Hard work though, but yeah, I'm an artist as well. Where are we? Alan said, Ice B Ziggy was the best antics him and Robbie got up to was funny. Remember the Grange Hill ghost episode when they frightened the hell out of Trevor Cleaver? Oh, Simon, thank you very much indeed. Simon has sent us £5, which is really kind, saying towards the rent for storage space for all your e-bikes or a portion of fried rice for Sarah. Nice one, Simon.
Nice one. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you. Both of those are very, very good ideas. Alan said, needs a shop by the sounds of it. Or, sorry, Michelle said, you need a shed for all those bikes, Tony.
Yeah, I've now got 4 bikes. 2 of them I want to get rid of, and 2 of them I want to keep. The Green Goddess I want to keep, and this one that I've reviewing the next video, maybe the next video, I don't know yet. I want to keep that one as well. They're very, very good.
Alan said you need a shop by the sound of it, Michelle.
Yeah, I do need someone to actually show me how to sell the things now. The 2 that I don't want anyway. The best way to sell them.
Michelle said, I like school. I left in 1995. It's fantastic. If you enjoyed your school years, I think that is lovely. I really do. And the 90s were a fantastic decade. Music, TV, everything really, films. Maybe it's just like that when you get older and you reminisce. These bridges coming up.
Oh, I think it's that one.
That is the bridge.
That is the bridge.
The bridge. I wonder if anyone remembers why we call it the bridge. Ice B, aka P77, I said, well done for the 30 miles. I know that stiff leg syndrome. I walk 10 to 12 miles a day, so it happens quite regularly. Did a 17-mile one the other day with overtime. Oh, so what job do you do, Ice B, aka P77 Ice? I'm gonna guess postie.
Could be.
I can't think of many jobs where you walk that walk that many miles. Maybe if you're a porter in a hospital, you're probably packing a few miles.
The weird thing is, I went totally against everything that I keep telling everyone if they want to get fit and everything else. If you're my sort of age and weight, is to just take it easy. Don't overdo it. Just take it nice and slow and build up your what's it called? Build up your stamina. God, I can't even talk. Build up your stamina, and it's dangerous to do it too much too quickly at our age. And that, but I was enjoying riding the bike so much that I just lost time and just was enjoying it. And then when I got home, I realised my legs wouldn't work.
Alan just asked, was that an accident on the motorway?
No, just people pulling over.
Alan Howard, IceB, aka P77, I said to Alan, yeah, entertaining. Michelle said, eBay or Temu, Tony? Big Davey said, as a fat kid with glasses, I got bullied with the Roland references at school. That must have been horrible, really horrible, Big Davey. I feel for you with that. Alan Howard said, best place to sell bikes and other items is either Facebook Marketplace or Gumtree.
Do they charge, by the way, if you sell stuff on there? What's their percentage on these things?
What's that, Marketplace?
Marketplace,
or Gumtree?
well, all of them really. I know eBay. Sometimes when you sell on eBay, when you get your final bit at the end, you sort of think, God, it wasn't worth all the hassle, because eBay or PayPal or wherever it is that takes the money off you, they take a big chunk, and it's sort of like, blimey, it's not worth selling on there sometimes. If you can do a private sale, it's better.
Raymond's just joined as well, and he said, oops, bit late, soz, where the hell are we? So I think, I'm not very good with roads, but I think this is the A27?
Yep, the A27, just outside Selsey, Chichester way at the moment. Just past Chichester, heading out of Chichester, I should say.
And Craig Mawson's just joined as well. Hi, Tony and Sarah.
Hello, Craig.
Hi, Craig. Hi, Craig. And hi, Alan. IceB, aka P77, I said correct. Well done. 28 years in. You've done a lot then. I bet you've seen a lot of changes. IceB, aka P77 Ice. All similar route for your 28 years? Or have you moved around? I know a lot of people move with their post office jobs, don't they? Alan Howard said, hi Craig, how's Perkinsville? And Simon Mitchener said to Raymond, on the A27 head east towards Chichester, I think. That sounds about right to me, Simon. Craig Mawson said, hi Alan, it's great. Do you know, actually, I don't know where Perkinsville is. Where is Perkinsville? Do you know, Tony?
No, not fair.
You'll have to let us know. And I need to stop saying.
Yeah. We all do things, don't we? Like that.
The outliner said, I like school apart from having to take medication from epilepsy. Left school in 2003 and discovered in 2007 that I was misdiagnosed with it. I was one of more than 600 misdiagnosed. How scary that must be.
Yeah.
I hope everything's okay, the outliner. Michelle Simpson said, you could give one of your bikes away in a competition, Tony. Not a bad shout.
Yeah, could do.
Alan Howard said, no, Facebook and Gumtree don't charge. Nice to know, Alan.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for that.
M3D 1807 said, Gumtree do not, but you can pay for a better listing.
Okay, yeah.
Raymond said, cheers, Simon, and Craig Mawson said, hi, Michelle. Simon said, hi, Craig Mawson, and M3D 1807, and Craig said, hi to Simon. M3D 1807 said, hello. Alan said, who's watching the Great North Run tomorrow? I'm pleased I'm not running it. Wonder what the weather will be like for it, Alan. Simon Mitchener said, glad you got that right, Sarah. You're heading towards where I live, so I better recognise the road, even if I don't travel it that often. And ISB aka P77 I said, yeah, loads of changes over the years. I've been lucky, I've had the same route for 25 years. Wow. So I bet your customers know you really well. I'd love to know the best and worst bits about that job. I'll tell you one thing I noticed, and someone told me it's because of weather, and that's that in all weathers, posties wear shorts. And you do notice that.
Chafing.
Someone said it was because shorts dry out quicker if it rains and you're on your round. Don't know if that's true.
Keep things cool down there, less chafing. Now that roundabout we just gone through, normally we'd be turning left, but we turned right to go a different route. There's not much in it, to be honest, but it's just a different scenery from keep going the same way. We're still on the A27, heading towards Brighton, I guess, heading in that direction. We don't go anywhere near Brighton, but we're heading in that direction.
And just so you know, we've got 46 people in the car with us now, Tone, so thanks everyone for joining. Nice to chat. Where are we? Average Boeing 747, that's a good name. Said hello, Tony and Sarah. Hello. Michelle said hi, Craig. Raymond said, the A27 crosses the A272. That goes from east to west, yes? I think there's a book on it. I plan to motorbike it to my brother in Plymouth someday. Alan said, Perkinsville, Sarah, is in County Durham, just off the A692 between Chester Street and Stanley.
A long way then for us.
The outliner said, I still get problems now, but I manage. Got my son now, who is my world. He's 12 and is in my profile picture. Glad to hear everything's going okay, or that you're managing, the outliner. And congratulations on having a lovely son. Raymond said, Michelle left school in 95? ? Alan Howard said, one of my old school teachers died running the Great North Run a few years ago. He was 12 out of 13 miles into the run and he had a heart attack. How distressing that must have been, poor guy.
It does happen from time to time, that sort of thing.
Michelle Simpson said, Tony, you'll be happy to know that Christmas decorations are starting to appear in the shops, laugh out loud. And ironically enough, that's exactly what I've been making today, so... Raymond said, geez, I was already 31 by then. And Michelle's just said to Raymond, yes, 1995. IceB aka P77, I said, oh yeah, really well. Go visit a few on my days off. Inside work is the hard bit. Once you're out walking, it's cool, especially when the weather's good. So I guess the inside bit of the job is when you're sorting stuff, getting ready for the round, I guess. Michelle Simpson said, I'm 46, Raymond. Simon Mitchener said to Raymond, I may be wrong, but I think the A272 goes between the A25 and the A23, a bit before the M25. Tony might know about that, Simon, I'm not sure. Craig Mawson said, Alan, me and my daughter have to go to court because the DPD driver is in court on the 13th. Craig said, Tony and Sarah, I hope you and your family are well. We're all well, Craig, thank you for asking.
Yeah, all good, thanks.
Hope you are too.
I bet you'll be glad when this court case is done.
Sounds like you've had a bit of a nightmare there, Craig. Alan Howard said, Michelle, another time of year I don't like, because my birthday, I get nothing, not even a Christmas dinner. On your birthday, Alan? Or you don't like Christmas?
It's like his birthday, don't get nothing.
Oh, I see. Oh. Raymond said, you're right, Simon. I have to detour a bit to get on it. Simon Mitchener said, A24. I meant between the A24 and A23. Typos are us. Alan Howard said, good luck for the 13th, Craig. DPD are idiots. I can't remember what that turn-off was just that we went by just then.
we're coming into Arundel, aren't we now? Aren't we?
I'm not sure.
Sort of
Possibly.
over
Yeah.
to the left-hand side of us.
Yeah. So that we might be going over the River Arun there. And Arundel's lovely, very, very steep. But I guess a lot of castles used to be built on hills so that they could see far and wide. Beautiful to visit though. Some lovely, lovely houses to see. Craig Mawson said to Alan, thank you. And Chaz Bell said the A272 goes from the A267 near Cross in Hand to Winchester. Michelle Simpson said, when's your birthday, Alan? I think it's the 23rd of September, Michelle, if I remember right from the other messages. Did I remember right there, Alan? Tom said, do DPD give unrealistic job loads?
Yes, they do. I think most of them do nowadays. Yeah, that it's not a good job to get into. Excuse me. Yeah, they get their money out of you. They really do. But if you're a customer and you're waiting for your goods, they're always bang on time with me anyway. They are always bang on time. They give you an hour slot, or it might be 2 hours slot, and they're always in that time frame. And the goods have never been damaged. I know we've all got horror stories and all that from everyone you have deliveries from, but they've always been really good delivery wise with me. But out on the road you see them do some crazy stuff.
You probably just saw the signs there as well, showing that we're in Arundel. You kind of just go through it on the road though. Just so you know, we're not going through Arundel itself, we're just on the outskirts. We don't go, on this drive we don't go up near the castle or the cathedral or anything like that, but just through the outskirts where you would get off if you went by train. Where are we on the chats? Raymond said, I've sacked Simon as my navigator. Laugh out loud, and Simon Mitchell has laughed out loud back to Raymond. Alan said, Tony, do you still have any idiot drivers from Addison Lee? I've seen their driving on some videos, nothing to write home about.
I don't see that many of them because I don't really do a lot of central London, and they're mainly central London-ish. I don't see a lot of them.
I'm sure they used to be based at the bottom near Fulham. You know, you go over Putney Bridge on the corner if you were going up Fulham Palace Road, but is it New Kings Road? They used to be based, that's where they started, on the corner there.
I mean, it's a big company,
It's huge now,
yeah. But I think, you know, because of Uber being so huge, maybe they might be struggling. But I very rarely see them. I see them when I go to airports and stuff like that, the cars and that, because it's written all over them. But other than that, I don't see many of them.
Michelle Simpson said, my husband's is the 10th of September. Happy birthday for Wednesday for your husband, Michelle. Alan Howard said, yeah, my birthday's the 23rd of this month, Sarah. Simon said, I've not had any issue with DPD, but then again, big company and individuals are all different. Good luck in court, to Craig. And Craig said, I know, Simon, thank you. Chaz Bell said Kent and East Sussex Railway were expecting a delivery from DPD, and the driver said he could not find Tenterden Station. No way. Simon Mitchener said, I thought Addison Lee was the company Ashley Neal often harps on about.
Don't know.
Iceby aka P77I said, I'm September 2. Enough Virgos in the chat. And Mark Tyler said, DPD, I've had lots of problems. My last orders were sent to Hertford instead of Hereford. Alan Howard said, DPD, dependable parcel delivery. Should be dozy Pete drivers. I've sweetened that up a bit. I didn't know that's what it stood for, DPD. Thanks for that, Alan. Raymond said, went on a residential management course in Arundel many moons ago. Hotel as posh as you like. They let us in the wine cellar. It didn't end well. But that was fun, Raymond. The outliner said, my mum's birthday is the 24th of September and her sister's was 4 days ago. Lots of September birthdays and lots of Virgos stroke Librians there then. So your mum's birthday is the day after Alan's then, the outliner. Simon Mitchner said to Raymond, Avisford Park, as in the name of the hotel that Raymond went to. Yeah. So whereabouts are we on our way to now, Tony?
I think it's the A2 or something we're going to be going down. Something like that, which takes you right across some really nice scenery, which is the only reason why I've gone this way. Just otherwise it's roads like this constantly all the way home, which is, you get no scenery at all from these sort of roads as such compared to where we're going to go. You'll see me in a minute. I don't do a very good job actually driving wise, because I'm thinking about the view and everything, and I don't want this lorry in the way of me while I'm trying to show you the view, because I'm thinking that he's going to come off as well. So I overtake him, and I overtake him too late. So I'm holding my hands up now before anyone starts shouting at me in the comment section how bad I overtook him and cut across him. I wasn't that bad, but I shouldn't have done it.
So I wonder if you're recording anyone else's dash cam.
Yeah, it's always
and could appear in someone else's dash cam video.
See, as you can see, look, I've overtaken him there. I shouldn't be overtaking him there when I'm coming off here. That's poor. That's really poor of me. But as I always say, I don't edit out my mistakes as well. I show you all my mistakes, my bad driving and everything else. That's part of doing this, is to show you we are all human. We all make mistakes, and you all got to learn from them. But yeah, that was a bad one from me.
The outliner has just said yes, and Craig Mawson said, Alan, I agree with you about that. I think that's about the DPD drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Simpson said, we know Tony's birthday, but not yours, Sarah, so when's your birthday? So my birthday's in October, and it's the 15th, halfway through the month. Big Davey said, Simon, I think it's Delta taxis that Ashley Neal goes on about. And Mark Tyler said, on the 25th of September, I'm flying off to Perth, Australia. Wow. So whereabouts are you flying from, Mark? Are you in the UK? Going off for a lovely holiday? It's going to be a long old trip though, isn't it?
Now this is the road what I wanted you to see because of the scenery. We will go to the rear camera in a little while. You won't miss anything from the front. I will bring it back to where we finished, where we did the swap over, just so you can see it, because if you're paying London Dashcam Bingo, the front camera doesn't do it justice.
Sorry Tony, let me just catch up with the messages. I was just looking to see where the dog was. Iceby aka P77I said, no, that was a perfect overtake for an Audi. And Michelle said, we all make mistakes, Tony. That's kind.
And if memory serves me well, the lorry didn't come off here anyway, so I could have just stayed behind it. So yeah, this, as I said, the camera doesn't do this justice, just how nice this looks here. And you know, and this is what, hour and a half away from central London. When you think of how horrible central London is, and then just down the road you got this.
Simon said, okay, thanks. That was to Big Davey. And Raymond said, could have been Avisford Park, Simon, looking at some of the pics. Had a driving range at the back. Beats the heck out of Essex.
Yes, I'm thinking of doing one of these live drives, but a live ride into London, central London, on my e-bike. I don't know how many people would tune into that one, but it would be, you know, the touristy places and all that sort of stuff. You'll probably see a lot more numpties on the road than what you will do with me driving back from Selsey. Yeah, I was thinking of doing one of them shortly.
Would you call it UK bad bike driving, or would you still call it UK bad driving?
I don't know,
bike edition?
I don't know. I'll have to think about a title for it, but yeah, again, it would be unedited and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, we see how we go with that. I've got to do the bike ride first. I was sort of like getting a little castle on the right hand side. I have no idea the history of that.
That looked to me like it's some kind of gatehouse. I wonder if there's it looks like, you remember To the Manor Born, where Audrey lived in the little house? That's the sort of thing that
Right.
looked like. So maybe there's a big manor house somewhere, or maybe it's linking up to Arundel from another direction. Possibly. We'll have to look that up, actually.
Yeah, I think you get to see a little bit more of what it looks like from the rear camera actually here.
The outliner said, Sarah, you're an October baby like my best friend and her mum. Her friend's birthday is the 8th of October and her mum 2 days later. Alan said, Michelle, there's no human being in this world who can say they've never made a mistake. If they do, they're talking a load of rubbish. Very true.
Indeed.
And Michelle said, absolutely, Alan. Mark Tyler said, flying from Gatwick and I'm returning in March. Long holiday. Very long holiday, Mark. I guess, are you staying in Perth, or are you going to be travelling all around? What an experience. Craig Mawson said, Tony, Clarkson's pub is called the Farmer's Dog and his farm is Diddley Squat Farm. Simon Mitchner said, have fun down under to Mark Tyler. Raymond said, the camera doesn't do it justice. Gold. And house. Iceby, aka P77, I said, where I live in Leeds, we get views like this after a 10-minute drive. We are lucky with that. Very lucky. Simon Mitchner said, is this long furlong? Is it long furlong?
I don't know what it's called, to be honest.
Might be. There's a long furlong drive in Slough.
Okay. Yeah.
But we're not in Slough, obviously. Alan said, good name, Tony, the London dashcam bikes it through London. Let's see the idiots and mistakes. Michelle Simpson said, I'm sure Jeremy's pub is on the corner of, I think it's the A20.
I like that, actually, that.
Tony's getting his pen and paper out now, Alan, just so you know. So it's good name, Tony, the London dashcam bikes it through London. Might hit on something there, Alan. Thanks for that. And just so you know, Tone, there are 57 people in the car with you now,
Cool.
which is nice.
Lovely.
Joining us
Thank
on a
you.
Saturday evening before tea. Where are we? Let me just scroll down the messages. Simon said, if it is long furlong, 90-degree bend to the right, followed by a shortish run to a roundabout. Ooh, look out for that. There we go. So now I can't remember if we're going to the left, straight
Going to the
ahead.
left,
We're
yeah.
going to the left.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are we? Simon, Michelle said it's the corner of the A40. Mark Tyler said, I have family in Perth, so I only pay for flights. Wow, that's lucky, Mark. Iceby, aka P77, I said, I've got curry for tea. Lucky you, Iceby, aka P77 Ice. Homemade or from a local? Simon Mitchner said, and there's the roundabout for the A24.
That's right, yeah. We're on the A24 now, and that's quite a long way now. We'll be on the A24 going into Dorking until we get onto the A25. Incidentally, I was on the A25 today, and if you're local to there, from that stretch from Dorking down to just before Reigate, there's speed cameras on there now. So I'll try and remember to point it out to you here, but they're not here now. I'm pretty sure they're not on this this video, but they are there today when I looked. Now remember, the A25 used to be a 50 mile an hour speed limit road in parts. It's all down to 40 miles an hour now, and now they've put cameras up as well. There's no road signs saying that they're there. I just noticed them there, so maybe they're not active yet, but because I think they've got to put signs up to make it before they go live. Yeah, so it's one to look out for on the A25 from Dorking to close to Reigate. The average speed cameras being put up.
Uh-oh, Michelle said, you said tea, Sarah, not dinner, laugh out loud. And Alan said, Sarah, you'll start the debate again about breakfast, dinner, tea, supper. No! Simon Mitchener said, turn right, not left back there, and you'd have been heading for me. I can't remember whereabouts you are, Simon. You might have said before in a previous...
So Worthing that way, isn't it? A24 down that way. Is it Worthing?
I'm not sure. I'm not very good with names.
That way.
Raymond said yes. Have a good time in Perth, Mark. Regards. Mark Tyler said on the 4th of October it's my wedding anniversary. How many years, Mark? Iceby, aka P77 Ice said, nah, from Asda, they're quite good. Raymond said, Alan, brunch, 11s, tiffin, it can get quite confusing. It can, Raymond. Oh, let's not go down that rabbit hole again.
Is that from Carry On the film? Is it?
Tea and tiffin. Alan Howard to Raymond said, true, Raymond. Simon Mitchener said, pretty much Worthing. Yes, Tony, good memory. Now I'm going to have to move. We haven't been to Worthing for years, actually.
No.
We used to go to Worthing quite a lot. I'm sure there was a nice ice cream parlour on the sort of, I'd say the seafront, but it was like the road in between the seafront, if I remember rightly. Used to have a Sussex Stationers bookshop as well, I remember. The outliner said to Mark, my parents' wedding anniversary was in June and they celebrated 40 years. That's a nice achievement, isn't it? And Iceby, aka P77 Ice said, I don't think he knows about 11s. Simon Mitchener said there is a Macari's there, Sarah. That was it, Macari's. We used to go in there. I think you might have had a Knickerbocker Glory. I would have had an ice cream sundae.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark Tyler said 29 years this year. Well, that's congratulations. Another. So I wonder what 29 years is. 30 years, is that Pearl next year? I'm not sure.
Don't know. Where did that all come from? Naming the names like that, naming the years like that.
Not sure. Maybe it was just to give people ideas for gifts. Should we look that up? Iceby, aka P77 Ice said LOTR reverence, in case you didn't know. I don't know what that means. Simon Mitchener said, I got the reference, Iceby, aka P77 Ice, and we've proven that at least Tony is not a hobbit. And Iceby, aka P77 Ice, did lots of laughs. Raymond, to me, said 29 years is long. That's the that's the anniversary. It's the long anniversary. Oh, Simon said LOTR, Lord of the Rings, Sarah. Sorry, I'm a bit slow there, Simon. I get it now. Thank you. Cloudy old day for this drive, or cloudy afternoon?
So we've got 51 people in the car with us. According to what we're looking at on. Anyway.
Alan Howard said, I was at Iceland, the shop in Hartlepool yesterday, got my eyes on some chocolate custard, got some cake and no taste of chocolate in it at all. I would have felt cheated, Alan, if that was me.
Definitely.
I would have felt cheated.
We've just dropped down to 46. Not miles per hour, people in the car.
Chaz Bell said, my wedding anniversary is the 1st of April and celebrated 47 years this year. Congratulations, Chaz and Mrs. Chaz. Alan Gates said, my anniversary this year is 36 years. Congratulations to you, Alan. And Craig Mawson said, Alan, do you know Peter Lee? Alan Howard said, how many people remember green and pink custard at school? So I don't remember green custard at school, Alan. I remember pink and regular custard and chocolate custard.
Yeah.
And I always used to avoid it. If I didn't like it if you got skin on it.
Oh, I used to love the skin.
Oh gosh, no. That was not, I didn't like that.
But then again, I didn't really have that many school dinners.
Why was that then?
Because I wasn't at school that often. Can you not tell the way I speak?
Big Davy said, used to love pink custard at school, tasted the same as yellow custard. Alan Howard said, yeah, Craig, it's going down the pan. Iceby, aka P77I, said, yuck. And Simon Mitchner said, glad to say a resounding no to the custard, Alan. However, try the Iceland cinnamon rolls. They're actually very nice. And Simon said, not rolls, buns. They're really popular at the moment, cinnamon buns, aren't they? And the outliner said to you, same, Tony. I think that's about the
school.
Disgusting custard. No, about not going to school.
Not going to school or the custard, like in the skin of the custard.
So do you know what area we're roughly in now, Tony?
I don't know. No. I don't know this part of the world really. I drive through it often, but names of roads and stuff like that, I am just I'm not very good at. Not very good at all, really.
Simon Mitchner said Tony's custard was probably green as it had gone off in the months waiting for him to go in for a school dinner. Raymond said, 1st of April, Chaz, makes me wonder if anyone's ever tried to get away with getting hitched on the 29th of February. Yeah, that's a good point there, Raymond. Alan Howard said, the shopping centre in Peterlee, Craig, Castledean Shopping Centre, is practically deserted. I think a lot now are, Alan. Lots of shopping centres with empty units in them. A lot of vape shops and, yeah, empty units. Sharon Owens said, hello Sharon, bananas and custard with skin on it put me off it for years. Craig Mawson said, I know, had to go there a few times to pick up my brother. And the outliner said, skin of the custard, okay, not the missing school.
Yeah.
Okay. Christopher said, the custard at my school was always watery, hardly any taste, whatever the colour. And Mark Tyler said, this year I'll be on the beach with a beer on my anniversary. And I guess it'll be midsummer, Mark, when you're in Australia. Big Davy said, figured out if I took the smallest slice of cake, it would get completely covered by custard. And when you paid at the end of the line, you only paid 2p for a bowl of custard and not the 15p for the cake. Oh. Simon Mitchner said, Raymond, I'm not sure if it is still a thing, but the 29th of February is a date when it was permitted for a girl to ask a bloke to marry her. I'm pretty sure it is the tradition, yeah.
The old leap year, yeah.
I was out with a friend yesterday, and she told me that many years ago she proposed to someone on the 29th of February. I didn't get married, but she did. Yeah. Craig Mawson said, Alan, a lot has gone downhill in Peterlee. So there's a McDonald's airport. So I wonder if we're going near Horsham now.
It's sort of.
It's Horsham way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of new builds sprung up there.
There is, yeah. And sort of over to the right-ish is sort of Gatwick. A bit further on though, but.
Do you have many Gatwick journeys now?
No, I don't, because the pricing is just ridiculous. I should put it on the channel actually. Do a Uber ridiculous price of the day, like, you know, and put it on the screen, because you would be so surprised at the pricings that you get on Uber. It's so, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I look at it and I just laugh and I think, well, I'm not going there for that. I just can't do it for that. I can't. You know, I've got a bit more pride than doing it for almost bloody nothing. It's horrible what's going on in the private hire industry. But yeah, I should actually put it on the screen. These job offers that I get, it's just unbelievable how you're supposed to earn a living and drive the cars that they want you to drive in London. You know, they've all got to be sort of hybrid or electric, and all the hoops and everything you have to jump through, and then they, you know, give you these ridiculous prices of jobs. It's sort of like, how is anyone doing this full time? It's crazy stuff now. It really is.
Kel said, I proposed to my husband on the 29th of February, and then every day for a year until I wore him down. And Simon Mitchener said, why did I think that's the A272 off to the right? Alan Howard said, not much left in Peterlee, Craig. Best place is Middleton Grange in Hartlepool. And then Simon was just clarifying it was to the right. Raymond said, Simon, it is. I forgot about that. Rehired immediately. Alan Gates said, I'm picking up family from Heathrow tomorrow. Lands at 12 o'clock.
Don't forget to pay your £6, otherwise you get fined. Do it online. I do mine on auto pay, so I don't forget. If I do go to the airports, it comes out of my bank automatically. I don't have to go on and log on and all that sort of stuff and forget about it.
So what do you do? Do you go, so like for Alan tomorrow, Alan, what do you pick up from a pickup point, or do you go in and park?
You have to park. Yeah, that's a good point actually. Yeah, you have to park to pick up. But a lot of people, because it's cheaper to go into the drop-off section than what it is to the parking section, so too many people are going into the drop-off and picking people up, which is wrong. If you're going to do that, make sure you pay. Yeah, forget what I said earlier on. If you're going to go into the car park, you'd have to pay to get out of the car park, so you won't have to pay the drop-off fee, obviously. But if you're picking people up, if you're dropping people off rather, you have to pay your £6 online, and you can only pay for it online. You can't. There's no machines or anything like that will pay for it. You've got to do it online.
So what's the fine then if you haven't paid that?
About 60 odd quid or something like that. 60, 80 quid, something like that.
Well, it's a bit steep, isn't it?
But it's steep enough. I think it's £7.50 is the minimum on Heathrow to pick people up in the car park, and £6 if you go out and do it in the drop-off. So people are saving £1.50 by picking people up in the drop-offs.
But I wonder what the minimum amount of time, you know, because if you've got a delayed flight,
yeah,
I wonder how many hours you get stuck in there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the minimum in the car park is £7.50. I'm pretty sure it's £7.50 at Heathrow, and the drop-off is £6 still, I do believe. But obviously you only get about 10 minutes in the drop-off, and then you're looking at a fine. So if you're going to do it that way, make sure that they're there and ready.
Simon Mitchener said, laugh out loud to to Raymond. Where is my severance and rehire fee, Raymond? Alan Gates said, I go round the top of the M25 and yep, park to pick up. Michelle Simpson said, it took my husband 5 years to propose to me. Sarah, how many years was it before Tony proposed? I don't think we, we got engaged like really early on.
Yeah.
You know, within the first year of going out, we got engaged, didn't we? Bought a ring in Putney High Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it took quite a long time after that.
Yeah. Raymond said, my great-great-great-great-granddad was married on Christmas Day in Ilford in 1841. My nan, Raymond, was married on Boxing Day, and I think it was 1941, so 100 years after yours. 100 years and a day. Craig Mawson said, Alan, I only went into Peterlee to pick up my stepbrother and sisters from the bus station. And we've still got 46 people in the car with us, so thanks for joining us this afternoon, early evening, before you settle down for your evening. And Mark Challenger said, just logged on. Are we nearly there yet? Hello, Mark. And we're more than halfway there, I'd say. We're more than halfway there.
Still got around about 50 odd minutes to go before we're sort of home-ish.
Alan Howard said, yeah, I know the bus station, Craig, opposite the Eden Bar. Bigger road now.
And if you know this area, you'll know more than me about this area, but I'm sure the speed limits have all changed as well, like they have around where we live. All the speed limits keep changing. They keep knocking 10 miles an hour off the speed. I mean, it's 60 down here, but it's I'm sure it's always been 60 here, but the other bits I'm sure have gone down by 10 miles an hour.
Mark Tyler said, I got an Uber from Hereford to Gloucester, 30 miles trip, and was quoted £7.60. Is that a typo, Mark? Wow. Simon Mitchner said, to Alan Howard, a true Brit navigating via pubs.
I mean, the pricing is... I can't work it out. No, I don't think anyone can work it out. You know, 8 years ago when I started this job, I was earning more then than what I am now. The prices have gone shooting straight down. It's crazy. Everything is going up. The cars and petrol and electric, all of that sort of stuff is going up. And yet the pricing of these jobs are just going down, and they keep going down. And you know, people are obviously doing them. Drivers are obviously doing them because, you know, you can't keep refusing. You refuse sort of 3 or 4 on the trot, and the app kicks you off. Then you got to log back in, and then you get, if you're unlucky, you get the same jobs offered to you again. You know, I mean, I was in Mitcham the other day, and I got a job offer to take someone to Euston Station, and it was 12 quid, and we're talking just outside of rush hour, and 12 quid, it's like ridiculous price. I got offered that job 5 times. I kept refusing it, and it kept coming back to me, and instead of the price going up, as in no one was accepting it because the price was just out by about 15, 16 quid, what it should be, and I still wouldn't have done it for that even, but the price kept going down. Every time they kept offering it to me, the price was going down, and they kicked me off the app twice because I kept refusing it. And that's the people, you know, and that's, you know, Uber's a company which a lot of private hire drivers and taxi drivers keep forgetting. Uber's a company, so they've got shareholders, so they're going to try and make as much money as they possibly can. So they're going to rip people off, their drivers, to earn as much money for their shareholders as they can. It's just obvious. The one person so I don't blame Uber for doing that, because that's what you do in business. The one person I do blame is our mayor, Sadiq Khan. He is the regulator for us. Now he should be regulating Uber to give fair pricing, but he don't do nothing for us. And people keep telling me I keep having a go at him, but if you work for him, if you did the same job that I do, you would be having a go at him as well. Rant over.
All right. What I was going to say as well, just adding on to that, I noticed on my banking app, because I bank with Halifax, and you've got one bit that says cashback extras. So if I booked an Uber, which by the way I've never done, I've never booked an Uber.
Because you've got one
I've
here,
got one
haven't you?
here, yeah. But if I've been out and about, I've never actually booked an Uber. But yeah, you get 15% cash back. So if I'm getting 15% cash back booking an Uber, that is also, it's got to come off, it's got to be funded somehow, hasn't it? So that's probably why those rates go down so much, possibly.
It's an absolute joke. And I get an email from TfL every week, and taxi drivers as well get them. You know, the black cabs, the London black cabbies. We're all on the same system, and I got an email the other day. You know that test that I had to do, that assessment, they call it assessment, but it's a test where you have to put in the letters and the words and all that sort of stuff. Taxi drivers now have to do that. They have to do the same test as us private hire drivers. These guys have sat doing the knowledge, so it's obvious that they know London. It's obviously that they can speak English. It's obviously they know a lot more than private hire drivers, and yet they have to do that same test that I did. That is just absolute crazy, and it's just money. It cost me 36 quid to do that. I did no revision for that whatsoever, because I was if I fail, I fail. I'm so fed up with the job anyway. If I fail, I do something else. And I got 98%. So that is how easy the test is. If a div like me can get 98%, a cabbie's going to breeze through it. A taxi driver's going to absolutely breeze through it. And it's just all about money. They should not be doing that. They've done the knowledge. They've sat in front of someone in exam conditions for like 3 or 4 years to get their badge, and then they expect them to do that as well. Unbelievable. It's you're not allowed to say anything bad about Sadiq Khan, no?
Firstly, you're not a div, all right? I just say that. But I must say, I think if I'd done the knowledge and was a black cab driver, I'd be really insulted by being asked to do something as well, something in addition to that. It just seems so unfair.
And you could be a black taxi driver and have you been doing it for like 25 years, and you still have to do it because your license only lasts for 3 years. After that 3 years, when you have to reapply, you have to sit that test, otherwise you don't get your license back. So you have to do it, the same as what we do. You have to do it. It's an absolute joke. It really is. Whoever thought of that needs joining the British workforce.
Yeah.
Because they're stupid as arseholes as well.
Let's just have a little look at the messages. I'm not sure where, but I'm just looking at the drive to see where we are. I don't recognise it yet.
Well,
we don't go through Ockley on the way back this time, do we? No. Chaz Bell said, we started going out on Christmas Eve 1973, engaged Christmas Eve 1974 and married 1st of April 1978 due to my wife being in teacher training college. Craig Mawson said, Tony and Sarah, after the court case with the DPG driver is over, me and the girlfriend and our kids are leaving the UK for Dubai. Well, I hope everything works out for you, Craig. Alan Howard said, Craig, I researched the history of Peterlee. Apparently the Asda supermarket is built on the old Rosa factory and the cells are still there under the shop. And Craig said to Alan, I know. Raymond said to Mark, severance, rehire fee, times are hard, just ask Tony. And Michelle said, Tony, your friend the mayor should shadow you for a day so it gives him an idea of a day being a private hire driver.
He he wouldn't last the day. I'd wring his neck before the day was out.
Kel said, we have a few local cab companies in Southend, so I never got an Uber. Do passengers pay the driver or the company?
It goes straight to the company, and they pay us. It's all automatic. That is one of the best things that Uber's done. There's no money that changes hands anymore. Although there have been rumours that they're trying to bring it in, you know, which is absolutely ridiculous. The whole idea is that we don't hold any money in the car. We've got no barrier like a black taxi driver, you know, no safety net. They can touch us from the back seat, the front seat even, where some of them like to sit in.
And that was my main concern when Tony years ago said that he was going to give this line of work a go, was the fact that I was terrified that he'd get robbed. And I think you were on another app at one point where people could pay cash. Yeah. Was it Smartsy?
Smartsy, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a real worry. So the one of the only good things that I thought, okay, if he's going to do this, because I do think it's a risky job for anyone to do. I know you've got the freedom of being self-employed and that, but you know, you don't know who's getting in that car with you. You know, people talk about private hire drivers and them being dodgy and that, or some of them, and maybe, you know, everyone will find way to cheat a system, but to actually get, you know, be able to be an Uber driver, you know, Tony's had his police checked, he's, you know, everything, you've got to be medically fit, all of those things, fantastic, but the passengers who get in your car, you just don't know who they are, and to have the additional, you know, risk, if you like, of carrying cash, I just think, awful, dreadful idea, and I'm glad that you don't have to do that, and I really hope they don't.
And Uber don't vet the customers, so they literally can be anyone, you know. And when you see a customer's name come up and it isn't a proper name, I just drive away. I could be sitting right outside the house and they can be walking up to me, and then their name comes up on the screen, and if it's something like Fizzy Dizzy or Princess Diana, I've had Fizzy Dizzy and Princess Diana, I just drive away. It's like, no, if you can't give a proper name, then you don't get me. Yeah, and one letters as well, like, you know, A, you know, H, T, something like that, you know, one letter. It's sort of like, no, and that don't come up until you get to them, the name of them, like, you know, it comes up afterwards. So you've driven to them, and then it comes up with their name. So you do like a little check of who you are, sort of thing, like, you know. And if it comes up with, you know, you pick someone up from the airport and you're shouting out Fizzy Dizzy, Fizzy Dizzy. Yeah, you look like a right bloody nutter, didn't you? You know, it's no, it doesn't happen.
So I tell you what, Alan, if you do send your address to Tony so that he can send you a birthday card, don't be surprised if it's signed by Fizzy Dizzy. Where are we? Alan said, Kel, I think a percentage of the money goes to the driver and some goes to the company. That is how it works. I guess they're guaranteed they're always going to get their commission. If it, you know, it goes from the customer to Uber take a chunk and then send the rest on to Tony. And
it's all done straight away. As soon as you drop the passenger off, you slide the bar over on the app, finish the job, and you've got to rate the customer in stars. And they don't have to rate you, but some do, some don't. And then it's automatically straight in on your app, and then you can literally take it out straight away if you wanted to. You could take that money straight out. It costs you 50p every time you want to take the money out, though. They rip you off that way as well. They charge you for taking your own money out of the app, 50p every time you do it. But it's that part of the thing is so good where there's no money involved in it, because it's not only that there's no money, it's the fact that people want to be dropped off in really stupid places, and you really shouldn't be stopping there anyway. And to actually do change and all that sort of stuff while you're stopped in a really ridiculous place, it's you know, it's a no-brainer to have the no money thing on there.
Simon Mitchner said, I've never got an Uber or Lyft or whatever, as I do not think I can, as I do not have the ability to run apps on my dumb brick of a non-smart mobile phone. Oops. Where are we? I bet your phone... someone at work had an old Nokia phone the other day. They wanted to swap it for a smartphone for their job. And I'm not kidding you, the attention they got when they pulled this old Nokia phone out, people were like, oh my God, I remember that. That was the first phone.
We got a few old phones in the loft.
I wonder if we've still got my original orange phone that was an orange phone.
Probably.
Do you remember?
Up there, yeah.
Yeah, a great big area we had. Alan said, another Southend-on-Sea person. Hello, Kel. Michelle Simpson said, Tony has proven he's got guts when he faced them youths that threw the brick at his car. Was that near the...
Rose Hill roundabout,
Rose Hill,
in the little car park.
Never, ever, ever, ever do that again, Tony.
You don't think about it, though. At the time the red
mist
mist comes down and you lose your temper. The little bastards have just thrown loads of stones at my car.
Craig Mawson said, Tony, you're not a div, that is Sadiq. Chaz Bell said, Tony, I can imagine you being at an airport shouting for 20 pie.
Yeah, you do get some funny names, but like I say, if they can't be bothered to put their own name in the app, they could be almost getting in the car and I won't let them in, I'll just drive away. Because they you know, it's what security checks have Uber done on them if they don't let them, you know, put their correct name in the app? It shouldn't be allowed.
Kel said to Alan, hi Alan, I'm up near Chalkwell Park, so technically Westcliff, but no one outside the area knows where it is. Raymond said, Kel, I've always used ACs or Andrews. The lady who used to pick me up from Leigh-on-Sea Station was, I gather, one of the first and very few women to ride the Wall of Death at Kersau. Alan Howard said, Tony and Sarah, where's Ibby? Where is Ibby?
Yeah.
I don't know actually, Alan. He wasn't on the last live drive either, was he?
No, but we don't normally do them on Saturdays though, do we? Until the last couple. We've done them Saturday quite late. We normally do them during the week a little bit earlier than this. So it might be the fact that he's doing something else at this time and he can't get to... Hopefully it's just that.
Yeah. Just gone by that Holly and Laurel Emporium on the left there, on that drive. Nice little place. I like to even look at their Facebook page. Yeah, I hope Ibby's okay. It's always nice to have a little chat with him when he joins us in the car. Hopefully we'll see him again online soon. Kel said, hi Raymond, I use 333444 because I have the memory of a gnat so that I can remember the number. And Alan Gates said, Thorpe Bay area, Kel.
I wonder how much it cost them to have a phone number like that.
So ACs or Andrews, I guess they're local cab firms to where you are, Raymond and Kel. Oh, that was Pip having a little shake then. You've been behind the same minibus for quite a while, Tone.
Yeah. Well, it's doing the speed limit, so I'm doing the speed limit, so, you know, just stay behind him.
Just went by another little landmark that you pitch your journey with little landmarks. There was an Indian restaurant on the left there called Chili. I've never been there, but you always see it. It always amazes me, you know, you see these restaurants and pubs in the middle of nowhere, and especially with pubs, I always think you've got to drive there. Yeah. So is everyone in that pub there with a nominated driver? Yeah. Or is everyone in that pub
getting an Uber?
Getting an Uber or
cheapest Uber.
Drink driving, you know, when they're in the, like I say, in the middle of nowhere.
But Uber doesn't work out here though, not very well sometimes. When you get into Dorking, the Uber doesn't work. The Uber app doesn't work. I can't receive any jobs in Dorking. I don't know why that is. I think it might be their council that don't allow it, because they got their own minicab services that they're looking after. But yeah, when you get a job to Dorking, you got to get out of there because the app don't work.
But then doesn't Leatherhead have minicabs?
Yeah, it does,
Yeah.
and it's under the same sort of banner.
Yeah, because a lot of these councils, I think a lot of them come under Surrey County Council, but then they've got their own little district councils within that.
Yeah.
I think.
The Uber app though is really weird, because being licensed in London, you'd think, well, it's just in London, inside the M25 maybe, but sometimes you get jobs way outside the M25, and you can get jobs. You know, you get a job outside the M25 and you can still get jobs there, not just Gatwick. I'm talking further out. The app still works, and you sort of think, well, how's that work? I'm a London, licensed in London, and yet I can still get jobs way out here. It's odd the way it works, and yet something like, you know, Dorking, that's quite close, can't get anything.
Alan Gates said Thorpe Bay area, Cal. Alan Howard said more pointless roadworks.
Yep.
And Alan Gates said, ooh, my stepmum used to be at the Kersal Wall of Death in the 60s. Now she lives in Australia. And Craig Mawson said, Michelle, if Sadiq shadowed Tony for the day, what would happen with his security he needs?
There'd been the Range Rover behind.
Alan Howard said, Andrews was something you took for constipation, wasn't it? And Mark Challoner said, when I was a cab driver, I always liked to go the extra mile. That's probably why I lost the job. Very good. And Raymond said, Sarah Kersal, as in Kersal Flyers. Tony might remember them. I've probably pronounced that wrong, Raymond. Simon Mitchener said, I think my local taxi company's number is 212121. But I also have a particular personal number of a driver which I use if and when I need a taxi when I'm in town of an afternoon and it's raining. Talking of cab numbers, we haven't watched soaps for years now because we're really into a particular series on Netflix Prime. That's it, Prime. But the last time, or I remember on Coronation Street, the number on the top of the cab firm, something like, I don't know, 7151515, I'm sure was a local cab firm round here.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. Yeah, totally different part of the world, obviously, but yeah, I remember that. Craig Mawson said, Tony, if Sadiq shadowed you, what would you do with his security? Oh, sorry, we've had that already. Oh, and Paul Chapman's here. He said, hi, Sarah and Tony. Sorry to keep on, but when can you come over to East Sheen? I'd like to meet you both. I don't know if we'll meet you, Paul, but we're definitely planning on doing a drive, probably from Putney High Street, going along East Sheen and finishing up in Richmond, that area. So we'll probably be doing that fairly shortly. So do keep watching, and I'm sure you'll see lots of places that are familiar to you. Auntie Trev said, sorry I've been quiet. I've been making a deep dish apple pie with lattice top, all ready for tomorrow. Where's the invite, Auntie Trev? I have been listening, but I couldn't type with pastry on my hands.
Sounds nice,
Sounds
though.
very nice. Kel said, bye all, the reluctant husband wants his dinner. Bye-bye, Kel. Thanks for joining us again. And I hope you and your lovely reluctant husband have a great dinner. Or tea. But let's not start that again.
Yeah.
Sharon Owen, sorry, Tony.
Sorry, this road here is the road that I've been talking about earlier on, that has now got speed cameras on. So be careful if you're local to around this area. They've put speed cameras down here. Whether they were down here already on this video, I don't know. I didn't see them, but I saw them today. So this is the road, okay? The A24, not the A24, the A25. Sorry. Yeah, this little stretch here, they've got speed cameras on now. And remember, it's not 50 miles an hour now; it's 40 miles an hour, which it's been that way for a little while. But yeah, just letting you know if you're local to here.
Sharon said, Uber drivers in Coventry are licensed by Wolverhampton Council. Raymond said, Alan, that is so cool. Get Mark to pay her a visit. He's there until next March. My mate said he did security when Quo and others played there in the mid-70s. Raymond said, bye Kel, regards to Chalkwell. Simon Mitchner said, Auntie Trev, let us know your address and I'll sample and rate the pie for you. Michelle Simpson said, Tony, what would you have as a personal number plate?
I don't know. Something. I don't know.
I used to work with a lady and she had quite a good idea. She had the letter, all her family did the same thing, so they had the letter of the month of their year, so it would have been, say, M for March, and then the next two numbers was their birth year, so for example it would have been M79, and then the last three letters were their initials. And I always thought that's quite a good one, that.
Yeah. They're a lot of money though. That's probably why I've never even thought about what to have on one.
Actually,
they're quite pricey.
We bought our son a car once. Our son had quite a few accidents in his time and got through quite a few cars. And one was totally not his fault, which I can't remember it was now, and he was absolutely gutted.
It broke down, didn't it? The engine just went on, it just blew up.
It saved and saved and saved for this little car and got totally ripped off, and it went. And through a mechanic we know, another one came up and it actually had my initials in the number plate. Should have kept that, really, shouldn't we? Not that I drive, probably a waste of time really when you think of it like that, but what about you, Michelle? If you had a personalised number plate, what would yours be? Alan Howard said, are you going to Lidl's when you get back, Tony?
No.
Or getting a Chinese? Ooh, tempting.
Sarah might be.
Yeah, tempting, because we got a very nice gift of £5 towards that. Yeah, thank you very much. Michelle said, Streetcars is the taxi firm in Coronation Street. That's it. And I'm sure on the roof of those cars they have a phone number, and that was the one for a local firm near us as well. Auntie Trev said, I remember the Kersal flyers. Little does she know that she knows that I know she's two-timing me. I remember that song. I'm not going to sing it. Do you remember that, Tone?
No. Don't remember it at all.
Little does she know that...
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Does that ring a bell now?
You're dreadful singing. I could work that one out.
Auntie Trev said, thanks, Simon. Iceby aka P77I says, I'm boring and got my initials on my number plate. That's not boring. Alan Howard said, Michelle, how's about JS67LDC? JS, I'm not sure what that is. 67 and LDC, London Dashcam.
Yeah.
Not sure what the JS is. Oh, this is good. Simon Mitchner said to Michelle, I think Tony should go for 0LD G17 Old Git.
Yeah.
Very
Have
good.
I done something to annoy you, Simon, or something?
That's very
I
good.
upset you somehow.
The outliner said, a friend of mine has HUE as the last letters on her car because the family owns the ladies' clothing shop Hughes. And Big Dunk has just joined and said, hi, Tony.
Hello, Big Dunk. June, summer. Right,
Alan Howard said, Sarah J, June, June and summer. That's really cool. Iceby aka P77 I said, or B1G Tony, Big Tony. So we knew someone that had one called Blue years ago, BLU80Y, because that was their nickname. Can't think of any other ones that I've seen. What was theirs? It was a famous Jaguar. Prince Charles has got a Jaguar, hasn't he? With a...
Don't know.
I'm sure. I think that was one. I think Duran Duran, John Taylor, didn't he have JT123? I think maybe.
Don't know.
Alan Howard said, I'm putting ideas in Tony's head by the sounds of it. And Craig Mawson, Tony, I asked Michelle about Sadiq's security because he must be hated by a number of people. I think I've seen articles about the amount of security he has to have because he gets so many death threats.
Well, and it's the fact that he's useless as well. It's, well, we've all seen in the news recently how hypocritical politicians are, and he's exactly the same. He's a politician, a hypocritical politician, goes on about pollution and all this sort of stuff all the time. You see him walking his dog sometimes or riding the bike, but you don't see the Range Rover with 4 men in it all the time wherever he goes. You know, you don't see any of that. It's just so fake, and he's absolutely useless. And you know, sorry, I'm not apologising for saying that he's useless all the time, because he is. And he's been rewarded for it. He's been given a knighthood for being absolutely useless, which just shows up everything about his country for me at the moment. Rant over again. Sorry, another rant.
Michelle said, I would have MR03EAA. M and R is mine and hubby's initials, 03 is the year we got married, and EAA is our boys' initials. That's nice. Chaz Bell said, back in the early 70s I went to DP Autos in Wallington. Is it still there? I'm not sure, Chaz. I know 2 car dealers in Wallington. Is DP Autos a car dealer or is it a garage? I know there's Geyfords, Geyfords is a car dealer opposite Sainsbury's in Wallington, and further along towards Mellows Park is CMW Autos, which nearly every second-hand car in the area around here seems to come from, because you can see it on the number plate. But I'm not sure about DP Autos, but I bet if I'm out and about and I see it, I'll go, oh, that's what it is. Sometimes you go by places and you don't even register what they're called, they're just always there, aren't they? The outliner said, my son's godparents' car plate is LE08FEB, as in Louise, and because you can't do an I on the plates for Ian, they did his middle name Edward. 08 the year they met, and FEB as in the month they met. Cool. Simon Mitchener said, I might have to get BA574RD for my personalised registration plate. Very good, yes. Simon. Craig Mawson said, Tony, every time you see Sadiq, always has his bouncers. I don't think he can't, Craig. I don't think he can't. Auntie Trev said, a couple of years ago I was driving home following a blue Porsche with the number DO06 POO. Oh, like dog poo. I still have the photo. I bet that made you look twice, didn't it, Auntie Trev? Chaz Bell said it was a Peugeot dealer then. I wonder if it is... Whereabouts was that, Chad? It's not... I wonder if it's what I'm thinking, where I said that Geyfords opposite Sainsbury's. Might be that one. Are we coming? We've gone past the M25 now, haven't we, Tam?
Yeah. So we're coming up to the A217 in a while. The roundabout here.
Raymond said, Sarah, King Chuck probably has a Jag, but I think he likes Aston Martins. It was one of those awful Lagondas that sort of looks like an Austin princess. Raymond, that's actually what I was thinking of. That is what I was thinking of. And I think that Aston Martin Lagonda has got an unusual plate. Something like A1 or something. I think I might have imagined it. There's one for me to Google later. Mark Challenger said that truck pulled straight out on you there, Tone.
He did, yes. Glad you noticed it.
And Alan Howard said, another idiot on the road pulled out. Why don't you?
And they look at you. That's the thing. They pull out and look at you as if you're doing something wrong.
Michelle Simpson said, still waiting to serve you and Tony a drink. It's the Beatles tonight. Oh, Michelle, that would be so right up my street. Oh, my word.
Nice lot of traffic coming towards us here. The good old British workforce has been out putting their cones out again.
Is that what that was? Just roadworks?
Yeah.
Not a bad drive home though, this one. Not hit much traffic going the direction we were going anyway.
It's a little bit further. Maybe next time we do it, I should go the A3 and do it that way.
Yeah, that's
just another bit of variety, and you can, get it that way. You're coming in from the other angle.
Yeah, you go through the Hindhead Tunnel and that army barracks area, don't you?
Yeah, up through Guildford, that sort of way.
Yeah. Simon Mitchener said, Michelle Simpson, I thought it was the Beatles yesterday. Very good, Simon. Simon said, after a long and winding road, I'm sure Tony and Sarah would like a drink. Very good again. And Michelle said, Simon? Query, Simon? Alan Howard said, it's funny because the accidents, it's funny, they cause the accidents and try to blame you for it, even though sometimes they can see or know you have a dash cam. And Raymond said, Simon, let it be. Oh, help. Couldn't resist that one, sorry. Michelle said, it was AC/DC yesterday, Simon. And Simon Mitchener said, LMAO to Raymond, fair play. Iceby, aka P77I, said, talking of drinks, it's nearly time for a rum and coke. And Michelle said, I just got that, Simon, laugh out loud.
You don't do rum, do you?
Oh no. I had rum in the 1980s and I remember it now after being extremely ill, so I won't be touching that again. Simon, laugh out loud at my help. Ian Dennis said, when do you get back? Very good, Ian Dennis. Craig Mawson said, Tony and Sarah, thank you for another awesome live stream. Keep up your fantastic work. Thank you very much for saying that, Craig.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks ever so much for joining us again. Really means a lot. Mark Challenger said, I once took a course in learning how to end sentence with... Sorry, I'm going to start that again. Mark Challenger said, I once took a course in learning how to end sentences with the names of songs by the Beatles. That's 3 weeks of my life I won't get back. Very good. Alan Howard said, good group, Michelle. A member of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, is from good old Geordieland. Remember Heatseeker? And Iceby, aka P77I, said, rum's only for the brave.
I prefer my vodka. I like a bit of whiskey every now and then, but I'm into vodka at the moment.
And I think we're now coming along towards I'm going to say Belmont, but we're not that far, are we?
Sort of Banstead
Banstead.
sort of area. Coming up to the garage where all the flash cars are, over on the right hand side.
Is it Romans?
Yeah.
Romans, yeah.
Some very expensive cars there.
We went by there on the way, didn't we? Same road, same stretch of road. The outliner said, Tony, how long until you get back? It's another one there.
Yeah.
Simon Mitchner said to Mark Challenger, when do you finish that yesterday? Did you make sure that you paid the tax man? There's another one there.
Didn't the England football team do that once in press conferences? They had a little bet to see how many song titles they could actually answer questions by using song titles. Just whack a few in. It was a few years back.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I bet that was quite good.
It was, but I think they all got told off for doing it. They just sort of made a mockery of the press sort of thing, like, you know.
The outliner just clarified how long until you get back. Alan Howard said, hello vodka, my old friend. And Michelle Simpson said, spice or dark rum? Ice.
Now, according to our thing that we're watching this on, it's about 13 minutes until the end of this stream. See it there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so thanks everyone for joining us this far. There's just over 40 people have stayed the distance of the journey so far, so really appreciate that.
And we're just about to enter the mad mile, which isn't that mad anymore because it's down to 40 miles an hour. And yeah, it's just, for me it doesn't work. Everyone just bunches up now. You'll see, I think, that no one's, when it was 60, people would go past each other, overtake, and not everyone wants to drive 60, but everyone wants to drive 40. So everyone's still staying side by side with each other now. It's a stupid idea again. Am I allowed to say it? The good old British workforce.
Ice B, aka P77 Ice, said, how long is Penny Lane? I don't know. I'd love to go to Liverpool. I would love to do a Beatles tour. Did you ever see that one with James Corden when...
yeah, when he went round with Paul McCartney.
Well, yeah, it was so good. I want to watch that again. I'd forgotten about that, but I'm going to watch that again.
He just loves doing what he does, doesn't he, Paul McCartney? He's aged, and the money he's got in the bank, he just don't have to do anything, does he? But he just loves doing that, doesn't he, performing.
And I remember him saying in that about Let It Be and how that was a dream that he had about his mum. It was just amazing, lovely. Anyway, must watch that again. Michelle Simpson said, my mum had a bad experience with rum as well, Sarah. Sympathise with your mum, Michelle. Awful drink when it goes wrong. But then again, it was my fault for drinking too much of it, so I can't really blame the rum.
I was going to say, I've had bad experience with every drink that I've had. It tends to happen when you drink too much of it.
Yeah, that is the problem, yeah. Ice B, aka P77 Ice, said to Michelle Simpson, dark. Alan Gates did a big smiley face. Simon Mitchner said, not sure Ice B, aka P77 Ice, but longer than Strawberry Fields. Oh, that course worked, didn't it, Simon? Michelle Simpson said, vodka makes me sick, Tony. Alan Howard said, if the fairground is in town, are you going to go on the Helter Skelter? Raymond said, looks like this magical mystery tour is nearing the end.
It is.
We've said hello and goodbye, and I'm so tired. Michelle Simpson said, customers offer to buy me a drink all the time, and they can't believe it when I say I'm not allowed to drink. Ice B, aka P77 Ice, has done a smiley face and a tomato sign. And Alan Howard said, you've got to let me drive my car. Oh, they're coming thick and fast. Aren't they? Very good, though. Very good. So we're going along. This road is on the site of the old Sutton Hospital, which was demolished and has been turned into a school. And I think it's going to be, the Marsden Hospital is going to be extended. Simon Mitchner said to Alan Howard, just be careful of Lovell Rita, meter maid. Lovely Rita, meter maid. Very good. Yeah, so we're driving towards Sutton now, Sutton High Street. Paul Chapman said, hi, it's Sarah and Tony. Sorry to keep on, but when are you coming over to Sheen? So we will be coming to the Sheen area soon, Paul.
I might do it on my bike.
Ooh.
Start off at Richmond Park and then do like a live drive from Richmond Park through Sheen and then go into London or something like that. Or a live ride, not a live drive.
So would you go up the hill towards Wimbledon? That's steep. What about Wimbledon Hill on your bike? Would that be difficult, or is that the idea of the electric
It's the whole
bike?
idea of it. It helps you out, yeah. But yeah, I've not tried it on a really steep hill, but well, you'll see all this in the review and everything that I do. How good this bike is.
Alan Howard said, you can have all you want, but you can't buy me love. Michelle Simpson said, what are you like when you're drunk, Tony?
Depends what I drink, actually. Most of the time I'm stupid. I just act even more stupid than what I am already. Just a bit silly. But if I drink lager, that has a bit of an effect with me. I get quite aggressive, so I don't drink lager. Yeah, it's if someone says something wrong or something like that, or does something wrong, I'm liable to smack them one. So I stay away from lager. I drink cider, bitter, Guinness, anything like that. Don't have any effect like that on me. But lager, if I'm alright with one or two, but it's when I've drunk all day sort of thing. If I have a good old drink with it, then I act really stupid. Don't know why.
I don't think I've ever seen you smack anyone. Or has that been when you've been out without me?
But yeah.
I don't believe you. He's not that type of chap. Tony's actually a really happy, silly drunk.
I am normally.
Yeah.
Normally when I...
But to laugh, eat slowly. My God, when he's eating, it's like Daisy the cow chewing and... Oh.
Yes, I am a very slow eater. I like to savour my food and enjoy it. I don't like to shovel it down like some people do.
Some people don't have long breaks to eat. Simon Mitchner said, and in a shameless plug, my friend Julian M. Miles is a paperback writer. Oh, we'll look him up, Simon. Alan Howard said, you go to the doctors when you're old. All you do is twist and shout. Iceby, aka P77I, said, glad we could all get together. And Craig Mawson said, Sarah and Tony, I do drink vodka and whiskey and Captain Morgan's mixed. That's a crazy kind of cocktail you've got going on there, Craig.
See, the whiskey I drink as well, which a lot of whiskey drinkers will not like me for, I prefer Irish whiskey. I know all the Scottish people will be throwing stuff at their telly now or whatever you're watching it on, but yeah, I prefer Irish whiskey for some reason. Don't know why. Just a little bit smoother maybe for me.
And the outliner said he drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink. Do you know that song,
I
Tony?
do know that song, yeah.
That's the one you get knocked down and you get up again.
Yeah.
You get knocked. It should be you just fall down, really, shouldn't
Fall
it?
down.
Yeah. Iceby, aka P77I, said, "Oh, look over there. There's a fall on a hill." I missed that. Simon Mitchner said, "And if you do look my friend up, Sarah, you might even see a book we collaborated on, his short stories and my 3D art." Ooh, Julian M. Miles. Let me have
You're looking him up.
I want to look at that. Are you going to write that down, Tone?
No.
Yes, he is.
I'm just going to let you know that we stop at the water tower, just so you know
right.
roughly where we're stopping, just
Okay.
past it.
So we're just going now by Sutton Police Station, and I think think it's Manor Park on the left.
There used to be a B&Q over to the right hand side, which is now gone.
Yeah, because we obviously need another 1,000 flats.
Yeah, and nowhere to park your cars.
And no hospital to look after the people, and no schools for the extra children, but we won't go into that.
Yeah.
And Alan Gates said Jameson's is nice.
Yeah, it's one of my favourites actually, that. And I put one block of ice in it just to make it a little bit cold, not to water it down. It's not in there long enough for it to water it down, but just to make it a little bit colder, I have one block of ice. But like I say, the ice isn't in there long enough for it to water it down. It's just there to make it a little bit cold. And only one block.
So, Simon, yeah, it's all right.
Oh.
I'm distracted. It's that Simon Michener's fault, because I've got books by Julian M. Miles, author of Stars of Black, The Borson Incursion, Single White Male, Open Dyslexic Edition, and Place in the Dark. I don't know if I got those right, Simon, but we'll have a little look later. Alan Gates said Jameson's is nice. The outliner said Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. The outliner said, sorry, I just had to get that one in there. Raymond said, had ouzo once in Corfu in 1982. I hate aniseed. Never touched it again. Yuck. Auntie Trev said, apple pie's out the oven. Come and get it while it's hot. Oh, we'd be there if we could for that, Auntie Trev. Maybe with custard, but not with skin on. Ice B, aka P77I, said Beatles song, it's an oldish one. Mark Challenger said, I had a book published which is currently out of print, but it was retro 1970s and 80s themed illustrative cartoons. The book was called Retroland. Oh, nice one, Mark Challenger. Was it under your name, Mark Challenger? Simon Michener said, just need an address, Auntie Trev. And we'll all be round there for that pie. That'd be a live drive, wouldn't it? G6ZNW to Auntie Trev for the number plate. So he's just saying the D006POO mini is a mini. Date of first registration March, tax due 1st of November 2025, and incorrect tax status, MOT expires 10th of November. Alan Gates said, ooh, I've got stone cubes. Michelle Simpson said that band has been to my club as well and sung that song. Iceby aka P77I said, I've got a Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey in the cupboard. Been there for years.
Nice. Start drinking it then.
And Simon Michener said, yes, all right, Sarah, all his books are available in Open Dyslexic. If you like science fiction, then The Borson Incursion would be a good pick. A Place in the Dark is vampires. Okay, thanks for that, Simon.
We're very close to the end, by the way, now.
Yeah, we're
just so you know.
Just going past the Carshalton Water Tower. Very narrow road this is, and also really horrible if you're a pedestrian, just saying, because the cars are so close. Mark Challenger said it was under my real name, Mark Patterson. Okay for that, Mark. Thanks for letting us know. Alan Howard said, Auntie Trev, thanks but no thanks. Last time I had an apple pie about 12 years ago, I had severe food poisoning. Never eaten an apple pie or anything with apples since. Oh wow, Alan, that must have really put you off. Mustn't forget that, Mark Patterson. Can you jot that down there? Alan Howard said, oh no, sorry, the outliner said to Michelle, which band? Alan Howard said, it's that roundabout again.
It was, yes.
And Iceby aka P77I, said, nope, I only drink rum nowadays. And take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you very much for that. And over to you, Tony.
Yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. We've got to wrap it up now. And have a lovely evening.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Nice to chat this evening.
Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.